The closer Marshals gets to its season 1 finale, the more it feels like everything is starting to close in at once. And that is exactly why this final episode suddenly feels bigger than a normal ending. This is no longer just about one mission or one last case. It feels like every pressure point in the story is getting tighter at the same time. And now the real question is whether this team can hold together long enough to survive it. And the best place to start is Kayce, because right now he feels like the character carrying the most weight going into the finale. He is not just dealing with the job anymore. He is dealing with family pressure, land pressure, responsibility, and the feeling that every decision is becoming more personal than professional. That is what makes his storyline so important now. Kayce does not just feel like the lead heading into one more big episode. He feels like someone standing right in front of the biggest choice of the season. And that choice gets even heavier because of East Camp. The possibility of losing that land changes the tone of everything around Kayce. Suddenly, this is not only about doing the job right, it is about roots, identity, and whether the life these characters are trying to hold on to is starting to slip away. That is why the finale feels more emotional than a typical action-driven ending. If the land itself becomes part of the conflict, then Kayce is not just protecting people anymore. He is trying to hold on to something much deeper. Then the pressure spreads to the rest of the team, and that is where the finale starts feeling even more dangerous. Take Miles, for example. His suspension matters a lot because it instantly weakens the group. The second one of your own people is pulled out of position, the whole structure changes. It creates frustration, imbalance, and the feeling that the team is already heading into the finale with one hand tied behind its back. That makes everything more unstable, because now the group is not walking into the ending at full strength. Then you have Cal, and honestly, his situation may be one of the most emotionally important parts of the finale setup. Because once serious health issues enter the picture, the whole story shifts. The danger is no longer just external. It becomes personal in a much quieter and heavier way. Every decision around Cal starts carrying more urgency, and every scene involving him feels more fragile. That is why the finale setup works so well. It is not just saying the team has to survive one more big situation. It is saying they are already carrying too much before the biggest situation even arrives. And then there is Belle. Her debt problem adds a different kind of pressure, but it is still just as important. Because not every threat in a finale needs to come from violence or action. Sometimes the most dangerous thing is the problem that keeps tightening in the background while everyone is focused on something else. Belle's storyline gives the finale that feeling. It reminds you that even if the team manages to get through the immediate danger, some of these characters are still walking around with private crises that can explode at any moment. And that is why this finale setup feels strong, because the show is not relying on one single problem to create tension. It is stacking them. Kayce has the land and family weight on his shoulders. Miles is suspended. Cal is dealing with a serious health issue. Belle has financial pressure hanging over her. So when the finale arrives, it does not feel like one big twist is coming. It feels like the entire season has been quietly building toward a point where everything hits at once. That is also why my biggest theory for the finale is simple. This ending is going to be about what everyone is willing to sacrifice just to keep standing. Not just what they are willing to fight, what they are willing to lose. That is where all these storylines seem to be heading. Kayce may have to choose between duty and something deeply personal. The team may have to function while already broken in key places. And some of these characters may walk out of the finale completely changed, even if they survive it. So if we are really breaking down Marshall's Season 1 finale trailer explained, the biggest takeaway is this. The finale feels dangerous because every major character is being squeezed from a different direction. Kayce is carrying the biggest choice of the season. Miles weakens the team by being out. Cal brings emotional urgency. Belle adds quiet pressure that could still explode. And when all of that builds into one final episode, it stops feeling like a normal season ending. It starts feeling like a reckoning. Because at this point, the question is no longer whether this team can do the job. The question is, what will still be left of them when the job is over? What do you think happens in the finale? Does Kayce make the hardest choice of the season? Or is the real surprise going to come from someone else on the team? See you in the next video.